I mean, where do we even start with this? I'm going to try my best not to swear for the next 10-15 minutes, but it's going to be hard because I'm so ticked off this time. It's beyond probably more rage than I've had in a very long while coming off the back of a Manchester United game, because I don't want to sit here and purely have a go at officials, but we're going to have to talk a lot about officiating in the next 10-15 minutes. But then we've also got to talk about the mindset and the attitude of the players once again, because all of it combined has contributed to a situation now whereby after 4 games in the Champions League, we are on 3 points. And we now have to win in Turkey, something we have never done in the Champions League. And then we have to beat Bayern Munich at home. And that is assuming that Copenhagen don't beat Bayern when we're playing Galatasaray. So it's already out of our hands. It is already out of our hands to get through this group. Not that we deserve to get through this group at all, but to have been left in this position 4 games into a group where, quite frankly, we should be in the same position as Bayern right now. Bayern should be on 12, we should be on 9. And, you know, on the night, we could have even got a result at Bayern, but whatever. Tonight, it looked like everything was finally starting to come together. We were playing better. Ten Hag all week in his pre-match press conference was talking about we wanted to be the team that dictated the game. And for the first 35 minutes, we did. I thought we were brilliant. I thought it was some of the best passing plays we've put through so far this season. I thought Wan-Bissaka was phenomenal. I really wanted to sit here tonight and sing the praises of Aaron Wan-Bissaka because they were all talking about Højlund, and I thought Wan-Bissaka was fantastic. And the main reason we have played better in the last couple of games is because of the return of Aaron Wan-Bissaka. And I really wanted to talk about him. But look, we went 2-0 up. 2 very, very good goals. Wan-Bissaka into McTominay. McTominay across to Højlund. He finally gets the service he deserves and gets a goal. Second goal, sit in, counter-attack. Bruno, out to Garnacho. Garnacho had to square it, by the way. But, as I said, other problems for other days. Garnacho, shot, saved. Højlund, right place, right time. 2-0. Manchester United cruising, completely in control of the game. And then the officials took control. Firstly, an in-form and confident Marcus Rashford doesn't even attempt to do what he did, which resulted in the red card. An in-form, a confident Marcus Rashford just picks that ball up and goes past that player. He doesn't do this jump in, try and protect nonsense that he actually tried to do. But therein which lies the problem. He is not tackling the Copenhagen player. He is in control of the ball and he is protecting the ball from someone who is trying to make a challenge on him. He makes contact with the player just above the ankle, and under the current laws of the game, I can understand why the officials have made that decision. However, as a footballing decision, it is absolutely criminal. And I don't know, like I say, I don't know if it's a problem with the rules. I don't know if it's a problem with the officials. But that should not be a red card. And I go back to an incident that me and my dad actually talk about all the time, which is when Paul Pogba got sent off against Arsenal for trying to do a roulette on Hector Bellerin, where in exactly the same scenario, Pogba has planted his leg in a position to make a turn. Rashford has planted his leg in a position to make a turn here tonight, and he has caught the player. He is not looking at the player. The only time he looks at the player is when he initially sees him coming in. From that moment on, his eyes are focused on the ball as he tries to make his turn. Puts his foot there so he can then spin around the outside of the player. The player then crumples to the floor under the challenge. It's not a challenge. That's the whole point. It is not a challenge. And as much as I don't want to sit here and talk about a point made by Stephen Warnock on Ref Watch, because I can't stand Stephen Warnock on Ref Watch, but if there was a professional footballer in the VAR room, they would tell the officials that Marcus Rashford has made a perfectly natural body movement that has resulted in the player getting caught. He's not endangered the player. That could not break the player's ankle. There's no way in hell. There is no force behind it. There is no intent behind it. There is no aggression behind it. It should never, ever be a red card. From there, the heads then go. Because, again, as I said, this is not going to be a purely official rant. We're going to talk about the actual players as well. And, of course, when things go wrong for Manchester United, the players' heads explode. And none more so than Bruno Fernandes, who, to be fair, in the second half, I thought was really good. However, it is his man that he lets go when Copenhagen make it 2-1 just 2 minutes after Rashford's been sent off. And you can make the whole point that Bruno was playing in the middle, now he's playing in Rashford's position, so he's not quite used to the runs that the player was making. But the point stands, Bruno Fernandes was with the man when the ball went to the other side of the pitch. Bruno's let him go, cutback comes in, it's another runner from midfield, something that always happens when Christian Eriksen plays deep, and El Yunusi scores and makes it 2-1. Then the officials take over again. How this is a penalty, I just don't know. Again, he's not slapped the ball away from him. He is challenging the player. Both players have their arms over each other as they're trying to wrestle for the ball. The ball pops up in the air and it just hits Maguire on the arm. But like I said, these players are making contact with each other. Both of them have their arms out. Both of them are touching each other's shirts. And the ball just strikes Harry Maguire's arm. It is never a penalty. But again, in Europe, the UEFA officials give these handballs where it should just never be handball. They score, they make it 2-2. We get in at half-time at 2-2. I initially thought the decision to put Amrabat on was a good one because, as we've already discussed, the runs from midfield were being more and more evident with Christian Eriksen on the pitch. I'm not convinced by Amrabat at the moment. We were promised a player that was going to be good in the tackles and then expertly good on the ball. He is someone that Barcelona were looking at because of how good he is at playing the ball. From the moment he came on the pitch, we lost control of the midfield. And it's because he was giving the ball away too much. Eriksen, as much as I was moaning about him defensively, when we're on the ball, the best person to pass the ball to is Christian Eriksen. Right now, I'm not confident when we pass the ball to Amrabat, and he was giving it away too much, and he was giving the impetus back to Copenhagen as they had those chances at the start of the second half. But we dug in, we kept going, we stuck to the plan, we started creating our own chances, and then one long ball into the box, I think it was from a free kick, Maguire heads it down, it strikes the player on the arm from half a yard away, and yet again, the officials give a penalty. It's never a penalty. I would have complained enough about the officials if the game would have finished 2-2 and I would have made all the points that I made in the first half. We then get our lifeline back into the Champions League through another penalty. It's just never a penalty. I don't understand what these officials are doing. He's not looking at the ball. His arm is up, but you need that arm to jump. It strikes him just on the top of the arm. I mean, if that is a penalty, then, we talk about consistency. I know it's different competitions, but I was adamant that when Luton scored against Liverpool, that Ross Barkley shouldn't have been penalised because it just brushed his elbow when he wasn't looking at it. This is no different. This is no different at all. We score the penalty. Obviously, I'm over the moon. And then we sat back. We sat back on the 3-2 lead. We were playing better. When we scored the goal, we were the better team, and we needed to capitalise on that initiative. We let Copenhagen start getting back into the game again. We let them start creating chances. We started farting around with the ball at the back. Varane was giving it away. Amrabat was giving it away. I can understand why Ten Hag has actually been playing Johnny Evans the last few weeks over Varane, because Varane wants to play with it too much at the back. We just need to be getting the ball out to Højlund. He was the danger again. The ball's up to Højlund to then feed into Fernandes, and obviously Rashford in the first half and Garnacho, was how we were getting out. With Varane and Amrabat in there was too much interplay at the back, and that's what allowed them back into the game. Ball goes out wide. Wan-Bissaka plays it back to Onana. Onana miscontrols it and then clears it. You can clearly see from every single angle that ball is still in play. But instead, they give a corner. And once again, the officials have got the decision wrong. Fast forward, ball comes into the box, and they equalise and make it 3-3. And now I'm going to have a go at Dalot again. Because defensively, he's not there. I don't care how good he's been the last few weeks going forward. Defensively, Diogo Dalot is just not good enough. And it's another ball in behind him. The ball is whipped in. He is in front of his man. He looks, he checks, he sees him, and he lets him go. just like he did with Almiron a couple of weeks ago. Sorry, well, literally this time last week. Just like he did with Zaha in the Galatasaray game. He cannot keep letting these players go. It is just not good enough at this level. And when I say this level, I don't mean not good enough for Manchester United. I mean not good enough for playing in the Champions League. You cannot defend like that at this level. He's let his man go again. He puts in a weak challenge. He doesn't try and redeem himself by making a big physical challenge. He again sticks a lame leg out, and it's 3-3. Then we decide, in Erik ten Hag's infinite wisdom, to take Rasmus Højlund off and put Mason Mount on. Dave, your thoughts? Like, how's that going to get us the winner? 3-3, albeit would have been an okay result and still would have left the group in our hands. We were still playing better football, and as I've just said, our outlet was Højlund. You take him off and replace him with Mason Mount, you're just saying, go on then, Copenhagen. Keep coming at us. Keep putting pressure on us. And guess what happens? It's those players again. It's Varane and Amrabat farting around in defence, trying to just play it around because we've got no outlet anymore because Mason Mount's up there doing nothing. Give the ball away. Ball comes in. It's a phenomenal finish from the teenager, and fair play to him because he looked very, very good and he deserved his goal. And it's 4-3 and it's game over. And essentially now, barring snookers and miracles, Manchester United are out of the Champions League after 4 games. I'm not going to sit here and say we deserve to get through this Champions League group, but given the things that have gone against us, I don't want to go on about refereeing decisions. I just want to go on about refereeing consistency over the course of an actual Champions League campaign or a season if you include the Premier League as well. Decisions have not gone our way. That's a part of football. Our mentality to handle what we do when those decisions have been made is not good enough. So in that regard, we don't deserve to get into the next round of the Champions League. But it's just one step forward, 2 steps back again. And it was a step forward against Fulham. And it was a step forward when we went 2-0 up tonight. But all the hard work has been thrown away by an out-of-form Marcus Rashford trying to do something he didn't need to do, and poor officiating, and the mentality of the players not being good enough to deal with that decision when it happened. And ultimately now, we are where we are. Let me know all of your thoughts down in the comments. It's been a very, very frustrating night. I will be back first thing tomorrow morning with all of my Europa League and Europa Conference League predictions, so I'll see you then.